Hello everyone, I'm the producer of Star-Esh Fleet, Red on Left. In this video, I'll be introducing the gameplay. As you can see, Star-Esh Fleet is a 2D real-time strategy game, so today's explanation will focus on the core gameplay, combat. The scene you're looking at is the main gameplay screen. Although this is a 2D game, we use a 60-degree top-down view to simulate a future interstellar war scenario. As a commander in a war room, you're watching a holographic battlefield projection. You'll notice a very prominent circular indicator in the scene. This indicates a fleet, and all the ships on this disk belong to that fleet. The number 1 on the disk signifies fleet number 1, which corresponds to the information on the left side of the UI, showing the details of fleet number 1. Naturally, you can also quickly select this fleet by pressing the 1 key on the keyboard. Unlike traditional RTS games, every ship in Star-Esh Fleet belongs to a fleet by default, so players don't need to use Control plus number 4 grouping. Next, let's go over the operational logic. As the game title Star-Esh Fleet suggests, the main focus is on fleet control, which forms the first layer of control. The second layer involves individual ships. To control a fleet, you can simply click on any ship in that fleet, and all commands sent will apply to the entire fleet. Alternatively, you can box select the fleet to send commands, which has the same effect as selecting all ships in the fleet. Commands will be issued to the fleet as a whole. For example, if I issue a move command to the fleet, you'll see all ships in the fleet move according to the fleet's formation. Now, how do we change the formation? That's where the second layer of control comes in. You can select any ship within the fleet individually and use movement commands to adjust that ship's position within the fleet. Ahead of us, you can see the enemy. But before we engage, let's take a moment to observe the battlefield. You'll notice a blue line in front of our fleet and a red line in front of the enemy fleet. These lines represent the battlefront, or front line, which moves as the fleet advances or retreats. The battlefield is divided into different zones by these lines, which impact the damage multiplier applied to ships in each zone. This multiplier is displayed at the top of the screen. For example, ships within our side of the front line take 0.5x damage, while advancing forward increases the multiplier to 0.75, then to 1, and so on. Entering the enemy's line increases the damage multiplier even further. This rule applies to the enemy as well. The farther forward they are, the higher their damage multiplier. Shall we engage? Hold on. Let's first take a look at our ships. Upon selecting a ship, you'll notice a small nameplate above each one displaying certain information. The red value represents health, but what about the others? To explain better, let's exit the battle scene. Here, we're in the fleet preparation interface, which typically appears before a mission. In this screen, players can customize their fleet before starting the mission. Like many space war games, our ships come in different classes, such as frigates and destroyers, with 2 options available for each class. The primary difference lies in the number of weapons and defensive capabilities. Ships can attack and defend. Just as real-world ships, they are equipped with both offensive and defensive weapons. Opening the ship's detailed panel, you'll see multiple slots, blue slots for offensive weapons and green slots for defensive weapons. There are 3 types of offensive weapons in the game. P denotes kinetic weapons, cannons. M stands for guided weapons, missiles, and E for ion weapons, lasers. Correspondingly, there are also 3 types of defensive weapons to counter these. First is the point defense cannon, marked with P. designed to intercept missiles. Although you might think point defense cannons are outdated, they bring the romantic feel of bullet hell. Next, W denotes a shield cannon that can project a frontal anti-ion armor to resist ion beams temporarily. Finally, C is the core system, crucial for providing ammo and energy to the ship. It can also create a force field around the ship to block projectiles when energy is available. A core system provides maximum ammo and energy for a ship. When energy runs out, the core recharges automatically, although this takes time and disables energy-based weapons. Ammo, however, cannot be replenished without special means, and once depleted, it renders ammo-based weapons inactive. This system might sound complicated, but don't worry. Every ship has a default loadout when added to a fleet, so you don't need to adjust unless you want to. What about a ship that's out of ammo? It might make a decent tank, or maybe we'll discuss that later. Let's get back to the battlefield. In battle, fully equipped ships have several key attributes: red health, yellow ammo, blue energy, and some may have an anti-ion armor layer that absorbs ion damage first. Now, let's attack. Each ship has a red circle representing its attack range and a blue one for its defense range. When an enemy enters attack range, ships automatically fire. If multiple enemies are within range, ships target the nearest one. As the commander, you can issue attack orders, but ships target based on proximity. Watch how the front line shifts. Although I issued an attack command, the fleet stopped as our front line met the enemies. Moving forward would place our ships in a higher damage zone. The fleet AI recognizes this, so a request appears in the top right corner. The fleet needs to advance to execute the attack, which would expose them to more damage. At this point, as the commander, you have to decide: accept the request, and the fleet will advance until enemies are within range, or you can ignore it and manually control the fleet. When ships engage in combat, they send requests to the player depending on the situation. For example, a heavily damaged ship might request permission to retreat. Accept, and it will automatically move to a safer position. Or, if an enemy leaves a ship's range, it may request permission to pursue. This system is a basic AI intended to reduce the player's workload while maintaining the feel of command. The AI is designed to assist, not replace the player, with a quick approval shortcut on the spacebar. When ships take heavy damage or run low on ammo, you might want to consider supply options. There are two: supply boxes or the use of air support. Just as aircraft carriers changed naval warfare in World War II, space warfare in the future won't lack air support. In this game, air support includes fighters, bombers, and engineering ships, launched by carriers and supply ships, which can alter the tide of battle. For convenience, let's summon a supply ship into the battlefield. With the supply ship here, you'll see repair and resupply requests. Players can approve these requests or manually select ships to resupply or repair. That's all for this gameplay overview. Please note that these are only some of the game's features. For example, we didn't cover the ship empowerment system at the bottom right, which you can discover in the game. Thank you for watching. Stardust Fleet is now on Steam and is set to launch on New Year's Day 2025. A demo version is available for download. Check it out on the Steam store.